Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be looking at lesson 1-8. 1-8 is going to be on comparing and ordering rational numbers. So specifically, we're talking about decimals and fractions and square roots today. Of course, ordering rational numbers would also include integers and whole numbers and natural numbers as well, because rational numbers include those as well. But the key here is it's really easy to order a number. Rational numbers and integers and whole numbers, like those are things that you learned in elementary school. So what we're really doing is we're going to focus on those decimals and fractions and really teach you how to learn how to order those. Those are the ones that you're going to see in the state test. So those are the ones we're really going to focus on today. So go ahead and get your iNotebooks out and let's get started. And I'm going to go ahead and get mine out here. So just take a second to pull it up. Okay, there we go. All right. So this is set her a little better. Okay, this is lesson 1-8, comparing and ordering rational numbers. And we're going to do this kind of in a step-by-step fashion so that you kind of have a do this, then do this, then do this. And you'll see that with a lot of my teaching, some things that are maybe have multiple steps to them. Sometimes I'll do it in a step-by-step fashion so that you have that. So we're going to do our example. We're going to start our example with an ordering. So we're going to order from greatest to least. It's really important that you pay attention to the question, because if it's asking from greatest to least, sometimes it'll ask from least to greatest. That's really really important that you pay attention to which way it's asking you to do so that you don't do the opposite way. That'll get you an incorrect answer right off the bat. So we have 2 2/3, 9/2, square root of 10, and 3.71. Now, a couple of these are fairly easy, like the 2 2/3 and the 3.71. Those are pretty easy to figure out which one's going to come first, because 2 obviously comes before 3. There we go. It's going to stay up this time. But the 9/2 and the square root of 10 might be a little bit more difficult to determine. So step 1 is going to be to change all numbers to decimals rounded to 4 places. I use 4 places because generally speaking, if we use 4 places, you're going to have enough places to be able to see the difference. But it's also really important to make sure that we have 4 decimal places in each one of these. Even if there's only, like this one only has 2 decimal places, but we need 4 decimal places to be able to evaluate or be able to compare each one of them so that they're all the same. So we're going to do this with our calculator. So the first one is 2 2/3. So in our calculator, we've learned how to change decimals to fractions already. So we're going to change, and we have 2.2666666 repeating. So if you remember rounding, 1, 2, 3, 4 is a 6. We look at the one after it. It's a 6. 5 or more raise the score. So 2.666, and then the last 6 gets raised to a 7. So there's our decimal to 4 decimal places. The second one is 9/2. So we're going to put 9/2. Again, we're going to change that to a decimal, and it gives us 4.5. So 4.5 doesn't have 4 decimal places. So we're going to add 1, 2, 3 zeros so that it does have 4 decimal places, because we need to make them all the same to be able to compare them. The next one is the square root of 10. This is not a perfect square. So we're going to go second. See, the square root sign is up above the x squared. So second square root 10, and then we're going to change that to a decimal. And we have 3.16227. So 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places. Look behind it. 7 or 5 or more raise the score. The 7 is bigger than the 5. So we're going to raise the 2 to a 3. So 3.1623. And then our last one is 3.71. We need that to have 4 decimal places. So 3.17100. So now it's really easy to do step 2. So step 2 is order as the directions say. So in this case, the directions say from greatest to least. So our greatest number is the greatest to least. So the greatest number is the 9/2, which is the 4.5000. And then our next one would be the 3.71, which is the 3.7100. And then the next one would be the square root of 10, which is 3.1623. And then the last one is the 2 2/3, which is the 2.66767. Okay, so now they're ordered. There is a step 3, and this part is really important because this is what the state's, this is going to happen on the state test. The step 3 is to change everything back to its original form. So our answer would be the 9/2 comes first. 3.71 comes second. Square root of 10 comes third. I keep losing connection. And 2 2/3 comes last. I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on with my computer today. Maybe it'll be better. Okay, so that is how you compare, or that's how you order. Now, if we are going to compare, we're going to do the same thing, but comparing means that we're going to use the greater than, the less than, the greater than, or the equal to signs to determine, to make a statement. So an example of this would be compare to make a true statement. So this might be 3 4/7, and then you'll have like a box here or a space or something, and the square root of 11. And it says, so are we going to use a greater than, a less than, or an equal to? So the steps are the same. We're going to change these to decimal places. So again, we're going to go 3 4/7. Oops, not that guy. And we're going to change it to a decimal. We're going to round to 4 places. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at the number after, it's a 2. So 4 or less, let it rest. So this would be 3.5714. And then the square root of 11, change to a decimal place, is 3.3166. The 2 is 4 or less, let it rest. And so it's really easy to see that this one is greater than. So therefore, we change them back to the original numbers. So 3 4/7 is greater than the square root of 11, and we can write the true statement. So the big thing is making sure that you're changing everything back to the original form at the end, because again, on the state test, that's what things are going to be looking like. So if you have any questions or concerns, that is all for comparing and ordering. Let me know, and I'd be more than happy to go over these with you a little bit more. We'll do some more examples in class as well. But until next time, we'll see you later.